back. And I mean, I feel like I think we're in an era now where there's a shift where music is becoming, I don't even know the right word. I don't want to say better, but it's definitely like tapping back into that older vibe of how we used to feel about music in the 80s and the 90s.
I feel like the vets are stepping up to a certain degree. Snoop, in the sense, obviously, he's had 2 albums released, right? He did the one with the Missionary, and then he's got
Right.
So, but also pushing pushing
The next
artists he
generation.
has and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But then you have all these artists, the veterans, right? The legends, the LLs, the Redmans, and all these people dropping music. I mean, the amount of albums that I'm not gonna say I'm catching up. I've already gone through them, but I'm catching up in the sense that I'm continually going through them to just vibe, to make sure I vibe out
Yeah.
with it. But like, Joyner's probably the youngest in the group that I'm about to mention. But Joyner's album, ADH2, is really dope.
ADHD 2?
Yeah, ADHD 2 is
Yeah.
dope. White Noise, one of them, like those singles, like the Fire. But he's got some other stuff that I'm brain farting on the titles right now because it's still new to me. But he's got a song with T-Pain on there that's really dope. And then obviously Clips released their album,
Right.
dope. Raekwon just released the album.
Yeah.
I feel like he has. Go check out his video for Bear Hill, pretty dope. Ghostface album comes out the beginning of August. I mean, we have all these like albums coming out. Exhibit's album, Ice Cube album, and it's driving.
Too Short's album.
Too Short albums.
Right.
It's driving this narrative, like you said, where it's like the talent still lives. It's out there. And maybe some of the younger artists need some more inspiration.
Right.
Because, the younger artists initially, when some of these vets were, I'm not saying falling out the game, because I don't think that ever really happened.
No, just late stage in their career.
Late stages when that transition was happening, there were some of them that you could tell were influenced by these guys.
Right.
And then there was a little bit of radio silence from some of the legends, right? It got a little quieter. And then the mainstream was more of the younger artists. They turned into the auto-tune, the mumble, all this. And I think it got to the point where it got kind of repetitious and too used. Style was the style was too the same
too
all
saturated.
The time.
Yeah, and it happens. I think it happens with every genre of music. It just, everybody ends up, for the most part, sounding the same, looking the same.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like, because in our era, Redman didn't sound like Busta didn't sound like Pac didn't sound like Big, Raekwon didn't sound like RZA didn't sound like, Ice Cube. Like, everybody had a sound, everybody had a style.
Yeah.
And even though they had a sound and a style, most of them, even from track to track, were different.
Right.
Whereas now, not only do you have artists that have entire albums where it blends.
Yeah.
It's rough to tell, but
I love the Baby, but
right.
Every song sounds the same to me.
But then you have not only artists that sound the same on their own stuff, but then you have multiple artists that you can't hardly distinguish between the two because they're trying to sound like each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this new wave of the legends kind of dropping music and they're charting.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're dropping it, it's getting buried. It's getting attention.
There's still an audience out there because we're still here.
Right.
Like these are the same people that we grew up listening to. So of course we're going to go out and listen to the new stuff that they put out.
And that could drive inspiration for younger artists to go, oh, so this is charting right now. Let me
tap in or gain some inspiration from it. But it's crazy too because I've started this little adventure. I stumbled across, I can't remember his name right now, but a young YouTuber who is introducing himself to like old hip hop. So he was listening to Nas's Illmatic for the first time, and seeing his reaction to Illmatic like gave me hope. It's like, oh, like they're starting to fall in love with the same music that we fell in love with around the same age, So it's like knowing that there's young kids out there from this newer generation that like our music and are interested in hearing it and like finding about because he was, after he listened to it, he was like, I'm sorry, that I'm just now finding out about Nas. I feel like I've been doing a disservice. Like he's like, man, I feel like I should have known about this years ago. And I was like, man, that's crazy to hear. So I just went down this little rabbit hole of like listening to him listen to old music for the first time.
Right.
And just his genuine excitement about hearing it and the lyrical content and him stopping and going back. And it's like, oh my God, like that's a bar. It was just like, there's still hope. And I feel like we're at a point now to where the newer artists that are coming out crave that.
Right.
And they want that, you know. And it's different too, you know, like there used to be a whole hierarchy to break into the industry. Like you had to go through certain channels. You had to, you know, get PR trained and do all of that stuff. Now there's none of it's still there, but you can
social media,
get famous without doing any of that. You know, if you go viral on TikTok with your music, you don't even have to be a real artist to, you know, you put out one song. Like the one hit wonders these days are completely different from one hit wonders.
I don't know the dude's name, but that thing was all over TikTok. I'm the big stepper underground.
Yeah,
that was like every TikTok video used that always. You know what I mean? And then like,
but it's different because now you don't even have to put out a whole album as an artist. Like as an artist back in the day, you were putting out at least the album. It wasn't just one song.
Right.
Now you can literally just put out one song, go viral, make a mill.
What a crazy part to it is, you remember back in that era when, you know, when we were listening to all these artists, it got to a point, I want to say maybe the mid 2000s, sometime between like 2005 and 2010 maybe.
Yeah.
Where there was the term ringtone rapper.
Oh yeah.
Where it was like,
shout out to T-Pain because
yes and no, but like it got to a point where they would call people ringtone rappers because it was like, it was the equivalent of a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
But it was that they had their hook was a catchy ringtone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you just a ringtone rapper.
Well, I wasn't saying T-Pain was a ringtone rapper. I'm just saying T-Pain had a lot of raps that were ringtone friendly.
100%.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a ringtone rapper. He had a catalog.
Right.
But there was people that came out that had
T-Pain
one song and it was good for your ringtone, and that was it.
Yeah.
But I think the equivalent to that now is the TikTok rapper. It's TikTok rappers. And I think, you know, and it's not a slight, like you said, you know, get your bag, you know, however you get it. But, you know, you get those ones where you hear it, it's everywhere all over social media.
Yeah.
But that's
it, yeah.
So,
and I feel like if I ever drop some shit, that's what I would be. Like it would look, because I'm not an artist in any way, shape, or form.
Coop on the mic.
I do imagine myself putting out like one song.
We might have to make that happen.
Hey, you know, one of these days. Just one of them days.
That's not yours. Can't sample it. We can't clear that sample.
No.
We have to edit this out.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna use that as my sample.
We have to edit this out so it don't. We don't want the podcast to get a flag on it.
Right. Can you reach that?